What's going on, everybody? Daniel Rodriguez here, and welcome to my non-spoiler review for Arrival. Arrival stars Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and Forest Whitaker. Now in this review, I'm going to be giving you guys my pros, cons, and final score, telling you whether or not you should go check out Arrival in theaters, wait for rental, wait for TV or streaming, or maybe just never see this movie at all. Now when it comes to certain films, I'm not always the best at describing the plot, so bear with me here. The basic story for Arrival is that these alien ships come down to Earth and they're in different areas, and the military is kind of standing back, and these ships are just, they're just still, nothing's going on, they're not attacking, or we're not attacking, and, you know, we're trying to communicate with them, and see, like, they're trying to communicate with us, and we're trying to communicate with them, and basically Amy Adams' character comes in. She's one of those people that learn a bunch of languages, and knows how to read languages, and talk languages, and all that, so it's basically, how do we understand what they're here for? Why are they here? Why did they arrive? And with that leads me into the pros on how original this story is. This is not your average alien film. You know, don't go into this expecting Independence Day. And I heavily applaud Arrival for not being heavily action-oriented. The story itself is very solid and interesting, and from the beginning, it hooked me straight in. Now, I'm not going to talk much about the aliens. The only thing I really will mention about them, because I want you to experience it for yourself, is their design. The way that they're introduced in this film is very thriller and mystery and really cool and awesome. And what I found, you know, when actually hearing it, is the music behind it, and that's one of the things I applaud as well, from the original story to the score and the music that goes on within this film. The sound effects and music in this film are absolutely amazing. And mind you, my theater just got renovated. Our theaters got better seats and better sound, and this was the first movie that I saw when my right side of the theater opened up, you know, after they did construction for like 3 or 4 months, and the new chairs, and you get to put your feet up, and the new sound system and everything. It sounded absolutely brilliant. The cinematography is great in this film as well. There are a lot of cool wide shots. And moving on to the actors, Amy Adams, she is solid in here. She is really good. She carries the film along. But I will say, I've heard people say, like, oh, you know, she should get nominated for an Oscar or something like that. And, you know, I heard about that before going into the theater and watching the film. But I'm going to be honest, like, she was really good in here, and, you know, she packs the performance, but nothing of where I walked out and I was like, yeah, she should get nominated. Like, Emily Blunt, the girl on the train, mind you, the film wasn't great by any means, but Emily Blunt compared to Amy Adams, they have two different complete films, but I feel Emily Blunt deserves a nomination of some sort for her performance than what Amy Adams did in Arrival. Moving on to Jeremy Renner, he's kind of like the comedic relief in this film, and within the first hour, like, I love Jeremy Renner, man. I love the Bourne movie he was in a few years ago, and I like him in other films, but with the first hour, it kind of was like, why are you here? There is a feeling like Amy Adams could have, you know, and he doesn't ruin the film by any means, don't get me wrong, I think he's a good addition to the cast, but think about it, if you took Jeremy Renner out of the equation, like, he does help in the film, but really Amy Adams carries it throughout. It's kind of like, the first hour, think about it, it's like, why are you here? Like, you're kind of just adding the jokes and this and that. So, mind you, he is good in this film, but the first hour, you're kind of thinking, like, why are you here? And last but not least for the actors, Forest Whitaker, he's a supporting character in here. He's really good as well. He doesn't have a large role, but he doesn't have a small role as well. Like, let's say he's in here more than he is in Rogue One. Now, I don't have anything really negative to say about this film. I thought it was a really good, solid film, very entertaining. The score was awesome. The cinematography was great. The acting was solid as well. A lot of solid factors in here. But the thing is, and it's predictable at times, I will say that, even though it's an original story, and I like original stories, it's very rare in Hollywood today to have a really original story. And mind you, an alien film that's not explosions everywhere, and there's not, you know, battleships and air fighting, dog fighting. It's not like that, man. It's very quiet, it's very calm, and then it gets noisy. Very seldom, but it's worth it all. Again, with the score, very beautifully done. But Amy Adams' character, again, she could understand languages, and the way that they do that, like they do explain, and it's explained, but it's still very like, how did you like, how do you understand that? How do you understand this? How would I mean, she's obviously like studies it, but it's still like, how did you, it's still kind of explained, but it's not explained. It's like, how did you, I think you walk out of the theater and you're like, I don't know how you did that, but it happened. And again, it's explained, but then again, it's like, what? That's the only major thing I could think of, and mind you, it's not even a huge problem. It doesn't ruin the experience whatsoever. It's still a very solid film. But I will say there's this side story arc, not really even of a side story arc, it's just a thing that goes on, and it's with these military dudes. It's with the military dudes, and they do something, and it's kind of like, that really didn't have to be done. It really didn't have, like, what happened with some of the military guys and what they did, it felt unnecessary. It really did, but I understand what they were going for, but it still feels like that didn't have to happen. Other than that, I'm going to give Arrival an 8 out of a 10. So is Arrival worth watching in theaters? Well, sadly, since like I'm a month and a half late because it released like November 11th and it's like December 23rd or something, I am very late on that. So if it's not at your theater, if it's still in your theaters, I would say if you could go for like a $5 or early matinee price or something, like the cheapest price, definitely it's worth watching in theaters if it's still at your theater. If it's not, then definitely wait for rental. It is a film worth watching. Great acting, or solid. I always say solid about this film, and I don't say that much about other films, but solid acting, great cinematography, great score, creepy, thrillerish. The alien design was really cool, and you know they named the characters of the aliens. I thought that was really cool as well, and you kind of, it's a daily process in this film, man, and every day, and you get attached to some of the characters. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very well, and it's a film I want to see again. It's a film where I'm like, I gotta see it a second time to just. It's not like Inception where you have to like, I must see it a second, but it's something that I want to go back again and kind of break down and process, because it's kind of a smarter film than what I am. It's like, it's smarter writing than what I can process the first time watching it. It's one of those. Not so hardcore as Inception, but yeah, pretty much. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, make sure to smack that like button. You could comment down below to me what you guys thought about Arrival. Did you enjoy Arrival? Are you going to see Arrival? Did you find this review helpful? Make sure to tell me down below. Let me know. Share it with your friends. Hit that subscribe button for more awesome movie reviews coming your way. I have a lot more in store, even for 2017. Till next time, bye-bye.